Like you started when you're like 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you get up, you graduate, you're about 22, 23.
Yeah.
So for the bulk of your life, 2/3 of it, this is what you've identified as.
Right.
People know it's like, hey, there's Jason, the track guy. Hey, there's
Right.
NeNe, the basketball player. So that's a big part of you. And it's hard to let that go and transition onto this is NeNe, the wife and mother. This is NeNe, the podcast host. This is Jason, the coach and father and husband. Because you've only been known for a big chunk of your life as that. So it's tough.
What's up? Welcome to another episode of More Than 94, where former athletes redefine success. I'm your host, NeNe. And today we have Jason Brooks. Jason is the owner and operator of Take One Performance. Jason is a 2-time graduate of Arkansas State University, holding degrees in interdisciplinary studies and sports administration. Jason has over 25 years of experience in the field of sport, recreational fitness, health, and education. Originally from Memphis, Tennessee, Jason is a former collegiate track and field athlete, which is what brought him to Jonesboro and Arkansas State University. He is currently completing his PhD in performance psychology from Grand Canyon University, as he sees the mental side of transitioning into life after sports as an area that presents a challenge to several athletes as they look to what's next in life. Jason is married to Candace Brooks, who is a 2-time graduate from A-State, holding degrees in marketing and business. They have 3 children, Abigail, Jadens, and Kason, which are the spark plugs of their lives. Welcome, Jason, to another episode of More Than 94. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. Thank you. How you doing?
Good. So I explained, before we start, I explained the gist of the podcast. Basically, I wanted to highlight stories of people that was exceptional in their collegiate sport, but then they went on in life and became exceptional people outside of going professional, because I feel like we only hear about people that go professional in their sport and not people that decide to do great things in life after their sport. And so that's the stories I wanted to highlight for the most part on More Than 94. So, Jason, I know a little bit about you. So just give us a background, like how did sports affect your life? And basically, how did you get in track and field? And was track and field your first sport that you first tried out?
No, it wasn't. My favorite sport is actually basketball. It's my
Yeah, okay.
favorite sport. Being a basketball player yourself, you got to have some height. So I was more so of on the shorter side growing up. I was about 5'8", 5'9" when I graduated high school. So I wasn't that tall entering high school, but baseball was my second favorite sport. And I went to baseball tryout and I was a run. And these dudes were like jumping out the gym, swinging the bat real hard. I was like, That's crazy." So I've heard some dudes say, "Hey, come sign up to be on the track team." I was like, "What's the tryout?" He said, "Sign up." I'm there. And having 4 older brothers and an older sister, I ran from them a lot. So I guess I was fast, used to running from people. Kind of took off from there, joined the team, worked hard a couple of years later. Was still doing it, graduated high school and started coaching right away. And that's how I got into it.
And so ever since then, it's been pretty much a significant part of your life as far as
Yep.
sports goes. Gotcha. Can you tell us about what got you, how did you know, if you knew, that you were fast enough to compete in college? When did that happen for you?
Uh, okay, so it's a little different and a little bit of my backstory anyway. I came in as a non-trad student. So I was about 23 as a freshman because I went to work right away, coming from where I grew up at and helped out around home. And I was coaching. So some of the parents and some of the athletes were like, "Man, you should go to college." I was like, "I'm too old for that." I was like 19 or 20, thinking I was too old for that. So
Yeah.
I didn't know you could actually go at that age. And I was still working out because I would train the athletes and I always had the mindset, in order to train somebody, you should probably be in shape yourself.
Yeah.
So working out like I did, still train like I was running, and I started doing a couple races here and there. I was like, maybe I can get this school thing paid for. And it clicked one day. I went out and ran a race, and I think it was the first time I ran a 400-meter dash. I broke 50 seconds. Oh, okay. Maybe I can go and run on the college scene. So I could start scoping out some of the schools in the Mid-South and realized I was just as good as some of the guys competing on the teams. And I was like, let me give it a shot.
Yeah. And Arkansas State, yeah, you landed at Arkansas State.
Yeah, it was
Right down the road. For people who don't know, that's like, what, an hour or so away. It's right down the road from Arkansas State.
literally an hour away from me.
Yeah. And so once you got to Arkansas State, and you knew a little bit in your bio about after transitioning from your sport, you get to the mental side of things. So basically, you hit on the head with the podcast. It's about what we're talking about, like hitting on that like mental side of those kids transitioning from college in general or any collegiate sport, and maybe they're not playing sports anymore. And what have you seen in that kind of field that's challenging for some people? Advice in that area, any kind of that nature.
It's like a reality check. I noticed it one of my first 2, 3 years coaching on the collegiate level. Myself was dealing with it because I was still trying to compete after I graduated and I was coaching already on the collegiate level. So I realized after my second year out of college, like, yeah, I'm not going to be a professional like Olympic runner, but it was just fun to do. So I just kept doing it because I was still physically capable of doing it and mentally I was still having fun. So a lot of people, and it's what my dissertation is about the identity part of it.
Yeah.
This is who they see themselves as. And being a track coach, I got to work with multiple other athletes like football, baseball, and stuff like that on speed development and rugby. And this is all they've ever known. Like you started when you're like 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you get up, you graduate, you're about 22, 23.
Yeah.
So for the bulk of your life, 2/3 of it, this is what you've identified as.
Right.
People know it's like, hey, there's Jason, the track guy. Hey, there's NeNe, the basketball player. So that's a big part of you. And it's hard to let that go and transition onto this is NeNe, the wife and mother. This is NeNe, the podcast host. This is Jason, the coach and father and husband. Because you've only been known for a big chunk of your life as that. So it's tough.
Is it more tough? I don't know if it is. Do you see it more tough for women to transition or guys to transition, or it's like a little bit? It's not really a difference. It's tough on both sides. Because when I asked that question because I know it was tough for Jabari to not be a football player, but when I ended college basketball, I was like, like I was okay with it ending. Like I was sincerely okay with it. Was almost like a burden lifted off. Like I didn't have to go. It's like I didn't have to go to practice anymore. I didn't have to perform. I didn't have to do all these things. So for me, it wasn't hard to let go. And now that I look back, I resented basketball more than anything just because I had a loss. But like a significant other was not like a significant person in my life was a loss, and I resented and didn't want to deal with basketball. But as far as letting it go, I was ready. I was already go. So I didn't know if you seen like more struggles for males versus females.
What I've noticed is situational. Some people come to terms with it beforehand. No matter how great they are at it or how much it's given them, they already know there's other things in life. And what I've learned, like in my research, actually, is like where they are with it. Is this the only thing they have going for them? For example, and we were all on campus at the same time. I think I was coaching when you guys were both like athletes, and you looked at other things outside of basketball. Basketball wasn't just who you were. Yeah, my boy, like, I'm Jabari, I play football. What else was it that he was like looking at outside of? He didn't do fraternities. He didn't really hang out with other people. If you weren't an athlete, you didn't know Barry like that.
Yeah.
But yourself, you went to like business group meetings and stuff like that. You were in the college of business, getting involved in other things.
Yeah.
So you had other outlets. So that's what I've seen. Like people who have multiple outlet, they see another form of identity versus the social part of it, exclusivity. Like they're exclusively known as an athlete. You had an identity outside of that. And to me, those who are so encompassed with just being an athlete, they struggle the most with it.
Is it because, like you said, it's like identity crisis almost. Yeah. And so that I can see that as being tough and being an identity crisis. And I did have other outlets. I probably would be, if I didn't have basketball Monday through Friday, I probably would have been a little bit more involved than I was, that I could be involved. But I could understand that now, that identity crisis. And I just think sometimes I also knew coming in, and I don't know if parents talk to their kids just situational again. Like we had that conversation, like basketball is just an add-on. It was just an add-on. So I was going to school to get an education first, even though basketball was paying for it, that's second. And that was always told to me growing up. There's a slim chance, I don't know if parents are honest with their kids anymore, but there's a slim chance that you're probably going to go to the WNBA.
Well, to hop in on that, I went around recruiting for so many years when I was a college coach. And
yeah,
as a track coach, I would go to some of the football practice because not everybody's going to get a D1 football scholarship. So if I saw a fast dude on the field, or I could probably get him to run track and give him a full ride or something. But you don't have those conversations as much as you think they should. And now with the NIL and about to pay college athletes, it's a lot different. They're cool not being a college coach anymore. Like I still got some buddies to coach it. Men and women, like now they're having us say, okay, I can pay you this much. So sports is becoming more. We came in, it was student, then it was athlete.
Yeah.
Now I'm an athlete making this money, and I gotta go to class.
Yeah.
So the raw athletic student is the term I'm using for it nowadays.
Yeah. That is tough when you throw that thinking that you throw that money and like, oh. And I've even heard coaches say like kids are that'll come from a school that they never played a down or never did anything, transfer and be like, I'm only playing if you give me 500,000. Sorry, you didn't play. You didn't play. I'm just like they over here demanding that. I wish I could demand $500,000 to go play.
We were on it a long time. I say
And
financially, like, man,
listen, I'm
it's
like, oh my gosh, listen. But like, as in your specifically your college career, like how has sports helped you to get you where you are now? Like the challenges, how has that like shaped and mold the decision making that you make? You're a business owner. Do you think sports helped you transition, or didn't it help you transition?
It played a huge part. It definitely so the business I own when performance like it's a mindset thing. 'Cause I want people to know it's more mental than it is physical. And that mindset was developed from sports, like how to be tenacious and to always know that you can overcome it. Like Jabari is always your self-talk,
Yeah.
self-limiting belief. Like
Yeah.
in sports, like for me specifically running track as a sprinter, is either you or me, and I'm only racing myself. Am I gonna quit because I'm behind, or am I gonna keep pushing? You
Yeah.
work out today, that don't mean anything for tomorrow. So, like, just that adjustable attitude, that came from being an athlete, no doubt. And being a collegiate athlete, you're no longer you're dependent on yourself. You're not in high school. You're not under mom and dad. You have to learn being organized, being structured, being on time for things, being presentable, being intelligent. It's a lot I got from sports that has really helped me in today.
And so now that you're a business owner, what are some of the challenges that you face as a business owning your own business? I know you've been coached a long time, but like, just really taking that to the next level. What kind of challenges? What's rewarding about doing that? Can you explain that?
You know as well as I do, when you work for yourself, that's the biggest reward. If you're your own boss, exactly. Make your own schedule. If it's something you don't want to do, you don't have to do it. You don't have to add things to the company. I say the biggest challenge is understanding that your circle changes. And I figured it out a while back, like going through like the whole coaching and psychology thing. It's like different phases of your life require different circle. Like a lot of people won't go with you where you are. And then like the teammate, like how many of your teammates you still talk to like you did when you were on the teams? And as you transition into different phases of life, as I was transitioning now to business owner, I'm no longer just coaching for this school or coaching for this company. I'm operating as the owner of my own. So there's not many people that I can talk to about how to run operations for my own business. So that circle is that those people. And to recognize that you don't have everybody involved that used to be involved.
So
Another thing
is
is I
that
don't know.
difficult? Is that difficult at first for you? Because I not having those same or can't talk to those same people that you might have talked to before that you would consider close, or do you or you are like a, what can I call it? Compartmentalized. Is there friends that you might not talk about business with, but you might do other things with?
Mm,
And so I think
more like I can compartmentalize very well. I've always done it throughout life. So that was easy for me. I would say the most challenging part is I don't know, just being able to make sure I don't look at people like, why don't you try harder? Because was standing. That's probably been the biggest challenge, like wanting other people to try as hard as I do
yeah.
and meeting them where they are as a business owner. As a trainer, is easy. That's what you do. You're supposed to be elite level as fitness as a trainer, but on the business level, when I heard people whining or complaining, I'm like, just try harder. Just try harder. Just chip away at it. Shut up. Just work. Shut up and work. So I think that's probably been the biggest challenge for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but even when you're training people though, like so I feel like you would have some people that use like if they would just go a little bit harder, they could reach their whatever goal they may have. And so that's what I found
Uh-huh.
myself. I'm like, I have this expectation because I held myself to this expectation, but also being an adult, living a little bit like everybody cannot meet your expectation, right? And so
No.
I got a motor, so I can go, but I can't
Right.
hold that expectations to somebody else because they might not be able to go. And so that's been hard for me as an adult. Like, bro, I'm over here doing 17,000 tasks. How come you can't do it? Like, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you do fine. I learned that like also like young in life. I come from a big family. I got 9 siblings. We're all different.
yeah,
So we need to do certain tasks. We're like clean the room. Okay, if little brother 2 and little brother 3 are only going to be able to move at this pace, and big brother's at this pace, I need to go at this pace, and that kind of helped a lot. And sports taught me that too. Because even in my marriage, she can't stay up late. So I'll be up late night, and when I say late, I mean past 8:30. That's not really late to me, but it is to her. So she goes to bed. I know I'm going to knock out this for the business.
Right.
She'll get up in the morning around 5 o'clock with me and she's ready to go. I'm up ready to go as well, but also because like you said, I used to be like, why can't you stay up so we can work on this? I had to learn like meeting people where they are.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, so we're gonna do this here when she's up. When she
Mhm.
goes to bed, I'm gonna do this here. So this is meeting people where they are.
Yeah, that's good. Meeting people where they are. Yeah, you did. I did have to learn that. Meet people where they are, and that they're not you. That in marriage too, they're not. Like I'm not. I could stay up late, but my most productive time is probably early morning until about
Yeah.
3 o'clock. After 3, 4 o'clock, you might as well. I have no productivity after that.
Ain't right there. He's the exact same. 2:30, 3 o'clock, she's like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm about over after that. You gotta catch me in my peak hours of the day. Can you describe some of any challenges within, and I'll go back to that question, but in the sense of like, any challenges that you face being a business owner, that you may could like, in the sense I'll say, any challenges that you face that you handled and how you handle them being a business owner, that somebody looking at this podcast could be like, oh, okay, I didn't know he was going through that, and how you face some of your biggest challenges. So take one of your business challenges and how did you like work through that being a business owner, whether than not even just the business side, like training somebody, any kind of obstacles or challenges.
I'm gonna have to be careful on this part. Training somebody, that can be a lot. But
You know, say no,
like
they can name
I
not.
ain't gonna say name. Well, I would say on the business side, it's like the personal too. I'm a husband and a father of three. So I quit my job last year at the end of March, like my full-time job, and I take care of the finances for the house and stuff like that. So three kids, they're not cheap, and having a spouse, and they depend on you. I came home one day and told Candace a few months ago, I said, hey, I'm leaving my job. And she's like, oh, dear, yeah, I'm gonna go all in because I opened the business, but for the first 6 months, I was here part-time. And understanding like you can't split your time when you're trying to be a business owner. Like you gotta put in as much time building your dream as you are putting in for somebody else's dream.
Yep.
It's like your mindset has to shift. When you're doing 40, 50 plus hours for somebody else, if you put that into yourself, you're gonna need the same result, if not better. So what I think the biggest challenge was at the very beginning, last year, March, quitting that full-time job that was making very well, probably the most I had ever made up at that point in
Mhm.
my life. So
Yeah.
we were accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and being the breadwinner, just you gotta grind. You gotta get out there and work. Have fun. And my shirt says do the work. So I just looked at it. So, but you gotta get out there and put the work in. So it was like being up here countless hours, having unbelievable faith, and just understanding everything you had written out and planned to execute and be patient and keep pushing. I think that was probably the biggest challenge of owning my own business is I've done this stuff for years for other people, but to actually put my foot into it for myself and my family, that was probably the biggest challenge to me because I got 25 plus years of experience in this industry.
Yeah.
I was never afraid of what it could be. It was more so like what you have to do in at the beginning. Like, how is my family going to be on this level? I'll sure this. I didn't have a vehicle. Like she has a truck, but I ain't never been out of a vehicle as an adult. So I'm a grown man without my own ride because I had to put it into the business.
Yeah.
I looked at the bigger picture, like the money I'm spending on my car note, my insurance, and gas. I could put that into growing business, and that's what I did, and it's been great. So that there is probably the biggest challenge I had.
That's good because like you gotta be you do. If you wanted to succeed, you gotta be all in. So and I'm sure it's scary because you used to is it like a false like security, but anybody can be replaced, right? So most people think, oh, I have a job, I have these benefits, but then it's really that's a false sense of security because at any point they could decide to fire you.
Well,
You are replaceable. You may be
yeah,
great at your job. It might
now.
be great, but they might not find somebody for a couple months, but they will find somebody else.
Put it like this: it's your job. Say you've been there for 7 years, right? You've risen in the ranks. You're the second in charge. If you were to die, they're gonna hire somebody next.
They're gonna have to find somebody else regardless of the fact. So that
Right.
business has to keep on going. So I think that's good because yeah, just that it's just that false sense of security, I think. And then I also was like, how did you know you because I also think everybody's not cut out to be an entrepreneur either. So
True.
how did you know that's your thing? Because I feel like people are on social media thinking you should be working for yourself, well, everybody's not a grinder. Everybody is not a business owner. They're not. And then some people that are entrepreneurs, they gotta have people that work for them. So everybody can't be out here being their own boss. Like, and no one.
Right.
So
So,
then how did you know, like, that's the route? Like, I'm willing, like, I know that I'm built for this kind of stuff. Because
I
it's
got a
like,
phrase I was like, I always told people like I'm built different. So, but you gotta really believe that. Like,
yeah.
I think entrepreneurs are cocky individuals
Mhm.
because you believe in your ability. And I take that to like, and I talk about self-efficacy. If you know your level of skills in a certain area
Mhm.
and you believe in them, if you worked at them, you should be cocky in them. If you're cocky enough, you should be able to go out there and do it on your own. So for me, all the years of doing this stuff, man, and like running other people's businesses and building their dreams per se,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're not even understanding what the business is. They just got the money and the credit, pretty
Right.
much. I'm working for them. So once I got to a certain point, I think about 4 years ago, I was just working and I was like, at some point, I need to do this on my own. I do this back before, right before the pandemic hit. I was like, at some point, I want to do this for myself.
Yeah.
And 5 years ago now. So, because I had already launched the whole Take One brand and stuff like that back in like 2018, 2019, but
Okay.
I didn't have a facility. But I know I was at some point I was going to put my foot down and work toward myself. It's just got I'm answering questions that the people I was working for had no clue about. I'm like, think about working for you, no disrespect to them, and
Right.
it's worked for before, but you don't even know about this. I ain't making you money. Yeah, you paying me, but I'm doing this to build you up. I can do this for myself.
Yeah, they say those C and D students, the A students work for the C and D.
They don't.
Yeah.
They really do. They really
So
do.
that's that'd be a true statement. But yeah, but what about the person that, okay, I think I know I can run a business, but I just don't know what I'm good. Like, I'm good at stuff, but I just like everything I've done, I don't necessarily like it. I'm good at it, but I don't like it. But I know I could be doing something way better for myself. I feel like the challenge for myself, and I'll ask for myself. Like, I feel like that's
Mhm.
been my challenge. Like, I love basketball, and I've only worked 2 places. So it ain't like I've worked 5 different places. I've only worked 2 places. I've only done like, we own real estate, and not real estate is a business in itself, but it's more like it's like on autopilot essentially.
Right.
But like I'm good at like administrative, but I don't like I'm good at it, but I don't love it. I do property management right now and some custom homes, but I just don't like it. I'm good at it, don't like it. So what is a person like? I know I can go do something. I just don't know what exactly. And I know I can be my own boss. I know I have that. I know I'm that girl. But I just, if that's answer that kind of question for somebody that I'll say,
I would you and that person, you and others like that. Because Candace was like, we had talked about this years ago. To me, and that's when she jumped into real estate.
yeah,
Like doing it now, she's like trying to do some other stuff that she wants to get into with it. And it's more so not so much as what you want to do. 'Cause some people don't know exactly what it is that they want to do. You can like a lot of things. And as entrepreneurs in that, I would recommend like looking into being just a franchisee of different things. Like it may be not be to where you want to go and operate this or operate that because I just want I want to be a boss. I know I'm that chick, I'm that girl, I'm that dude, I'm that guy, whatever. For whoever it is, but how about you get a franchise of I'm just throwing something random, a KFC or golfing games. You don't operate them. You're the owner. You
man,
know,
yeah,
right? Business mindset, like property management. And I've known you. You have a strong business mindset because you're like cutthroat. You're like it's all logic. Team F your emotions. It's in that position, you can have a theme park or a restaurant or something like that. You're the franchisee, and they're normally never on site for the most part. And some of because some of them are owner operated, some of them are not. You just have a team under you that runs it, and they just report up to you with all the numbers and stuff like that. That's what I would say for somebody want to be in entrepreneurship that doesn't really know exactly what they like to do or want to do.
yeah.
I would look at being a franchisee.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Because again, you watch social media, everybody's gonna be there. I'm like, bro, everybody ain't her. It's not
It's
I'm
not for
expecting
everyone.
somebody's boss. Like they're not.
Exactly. Any person who's emotional levels are low. If you have a low level of emotional control, you are not an entrepreneur. You
No.
are n
Like you
you
said, I
are
would
n
be like, you supposed to spend more hours, and people don't understand. Like you spend more hours than a 9 to 5 when you're an entrepreneur. There's no such thing as a there's you might be spending 80 hours a week. There's no turning it off and go home and then no.
smart. I have whiteboards at home. I have notebooks at home. I got them up here at the gym. Like my office is a mess. I'm glad I'm at the back wall, not the front wall. What I live, breathe, and eat this. Like I got a space up here for the kids.
There, look,
It's
gotta go.
you are the company, you are the brand. So even when you step outside, you may be promoting your brand or somebody recognize you from an ad you did or something. You got to answer questions. It's always on for the most part. And when you work a 9 to 5, you leave.
You turn it
Let
off.
somebody
And it's, yeah.
go.
And no shade to people, and no shade to people that it's just certain people are just built that way. But I just hate for people to be like, you need to be, like, no, like they don't want it. If they don't want to do that, they don't make them less of a human because they don't want to be an entrepreneur.
It's not for everybody. Not for everybody. Even those who are strong individuals, it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
You got
And it's a big responsibility. Not even just that. It's a huge responsibility. And if they that now that I've worked in for some time now, like a lot of people don't want extra responsibility. Like some people, like, I tell you, bro, like I feel like I've been responsible since I've been a little kid. Like it's like I want to turn it off sometimes, but I just can't turn it off. Like I thrive and give me more responsibility, and I can thrive in that. And so I think that's also you as an employee, you have no responsibility essentially. After you leave work, there's no other responsibility. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. So I just hate when social media be over here blowing up, so everybody need to be work for themselves.
I give an example. Like I was an assistant coach at A-State, and I had a certain level, say like 5 levels of responsibility. I was there, everybody like, oh man, great job. You connect with the athletes, man. They love you. Everybody's talking about coach with.
Yeah.
Became the director of Orange Theory, Arkansas. Everybody hated me because
I forget about that. I remember that now.
yeah, I was a director and I was traveling around the state. Whenever I popped into a city, oh hell, there go Jason, who's in trouble, who's getting fired. I'm like, I really just can't do a workout. Like, I ain't mess with nobody. And now, as the owner, it's like every little detail falls on my shoulders. Like last night, for example, I had I had to close down early because I had to do updates. Updates means I bought new equipment. You know who puts the equipment together? You know who stations the equipment and tests the equipment? You know how heavy gym equipment is? Heavy. It weighs more than this. Thank God my wife and my brother-in-law came to help me out, but I was up here about midnight last night and had to be back by 7:30 this morning. But that's the responsibility I hold within me. So I say I left here at midnight. What time I go to bed? I don't know. I really don't. I don't remember. Alarm on, and I just woke up. It was time to get ready up and go again. But I didn't have to do that as an assistant track coach.
Right.
I did some of that as the director for somebody else's company. I have to do all of that, the owner of my company.
And so with your company, is it an open gym? Is it personal training? And then do you offer any mental health services and take one?
I don't do open gym. We can have that conversation about my views on open gym, but I don't do open gym because my expertise is like working with people. It's open gym, they come in your own thing. Also, that's a huge liability as well. Because people can come in, like, just tear your stuff up. You don't know what's going on when you're not there. I do personal training. I do sports performance training. I do mental skills training. So with that, I've been certified as a mental skills trainer for about 4 years now. And it's something fairly new to some people, especially in Jonesboro. Like, they don't know about it. When you hear mental skills, oh, you got to be tough. You got to work hard. There's so much more to it. So you just got to believe. Okay, teach me how to believe, man. Don't just yell at me.
That part. But no, honestly, when people like, when you say mental skills, what does that entail? What am I signing up for? When I say I want to do some mental skills, what is that? Because I feel like that's a skill nowadays because everybody got mental health issues. Especially, yeah, I feel some type of way about that. Anyway, but I feel like some people are abusing it, honestly. Because you can't even they get tough without somebody crying. Like,
y'all just lazy. People just lazy. You know,
what am I doing when I sign up for this mental skills?
It's all based on the individual. It's all on the individual. So some people I talk to about it, I have sessions with. We work on like, why can't you concentrate? What is the first thing I want to do is know your motivation. Is it intrinsic or extrinsic? What is the motivation? And normally if it's something extrinsic, like it's just external motivation, that shows why you can't concentrate on it because you don't really care about it like you think you do. The main thing, I give you something common in fitness. People want a beach body. People go to the beach in the summertime, right? So all winter long, why can't you work out? Because you don't really care until 2-3 months out the year. It's not something you care about versus something internal. If I care to be here, like my motivation is I have diabetes in my family, so I need to watch what I eat and how I work out. You're going to think about that year round versus the beach is only going to come for 2-3 months out the year. So just something like that. with athletes, it's like, why can't I focus? Or it goes back to your motivation. What are your distractions? What's your support system? Let's
Okay.
go back and figure out what got you into the sport. What do you even like or love or dislike about the sport? So there's a lot of different things that goes in it.
Okay, I got a question now. This is for my niece, and she may
Sure.
not to listen to it or whatever. But what her struggle is, and I'm not the best. This bro, I'm one of them people. Get tough, bro. Let's do it. So she's having the issues. And I try to explain to my brother, and I don't know if I've explained it correctly or right. She's an exceptional practice player. She is an exceptional practice player, but it does not translate over to the game. And my brother,
Sure.
it don't. I said it's not. I said that I think is what it is. It's like it's been so calculated for her, and in the game, not. You don't know what your defender is going to be in a game, and you're trying to do a move because you're like, I think she's thinking, she's trying to remember what move am I supposed to do based off what I did in practice.
Right.
And so she's not, I said, I don't know if there's such thing as being too much training for her. If it doesn't appear the same way in a game that it does in practice, she doesn't know what to do. The best way I could explain is like, she just don't go outside and play pickup enough for me. Because I feel like, and you kind of, because you can't really teach IQ, I don't think. So it's like, but when you play outside and I've played outside my whole life, playing against boys, it's just like something that you just pick up. I don't know. I just can't explain why it doesn't translate for her. And I'm just like, if she plays against boy, but again, it's structured. But you would, like playing structured basketball, even if it's in a game, you still would think it would translate over because it's still some type of structure. It ain't like she's out there, let's go play pickup. That's unstructured. Now, I didn't play with girls that are exceptionally great in a structured environment or like just playing organized basketball. But you go put them in pickup, they don't know what to do because that's never been their environment. But for her, it's just she has all this training. They pay for all this training, but it's not sticking. It's not translating or just, I don't know if it's just ain't clicking yet for her. So he can't get it because me and him grew up in the era of, bro, what are you doing? Like, get yourself together, and we just got ourselves together. But for him in this generation, it's just like driving him crazy.
Different generation, first of all. I see that a lot more than you think. But when I tell you this, you're probably like, okay, I get that too. You, myself, your brother, like we grew up outside.
Yeah.
Kids today grow up on the portable devices what they grow up on. So you can't drive down the block and see a bunch of kids out there hooping or playing football or baseball or freeze tag or hide and go seek stuff.
Yeah.
Kids are in the house online gaming, they're streaming, they're watching TikTok. They're not outside interacting where they learn how to adjust and adapt and be improv. You learn how to move your feet, adjust and adapt to the defender by playing improv. Let's pick up ball.
Yeah.
Because you can't dictate street ball. Oh my gosh, no, you cannot.
No.
People gonna do some of the most. You think Kyrie Wildwood? No, people move some of the most in street ball.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a foul call. So if you're
No.
waiting for the referee, he's not there to bail you out. So now they play 2K as their structured basketball. You know what I mean? That's street ball for them. So I would give a couple recommendations. On the physical side, I just take her to a gym and let her go. Like real talk, I wouldn't take her to no practice like one day and let her go to a gym that she's not familiar with, play with some strangers, make her hoop with them and tell her to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because if she's so meticulous and everything, calculating and everything, she will figure it out. It'll click. Another thing on the mental side, like the conversation, I would find her triggers. For somebody to sit and train so much, all of us have a trigger word or trigger action or something that's going to motivate us to act on something. She can be programmed so much that, like you said, she's overthinking.
Yes.
And when she's in a situation when something comes up that she hadn't seen before, it's not in her database. It's like a computer error because a computer works only as much as what you put into it. If it's something you haven't put into it, update. She hasn't updated. That's the way I look at those people. So
and tell her, and my brother be like, he gets so frustrated. We're telling you to do it, then you don't do it. And I'm just like,
I'll be honest with you. She's probably tuned that out. I'm gonna be real with you. So I talk to so many kids. And how old is she? Between 13 and 15?
16. She's 16.
Okay, a little bit. So I get a lot of girls. And when you get to just harping the same thing over and over, all they hear is, it's out of here. And when they hear they tune it down. They're not listening to what you're saying. They just hear your noise. And so he has to find out if he wants her to get through to it. It's just my recommendation. Change your approach.
Yeah.
Use different words. Just do it. Nike, bro, they don't work. Put some Adidas on it. Like, switch it up. Find out how she receives communication and give her that communication. And that's a lot of times like we miss out because you and I and your brother, we grew up with people yelling at us, coaches cussing at you. This is a different generation.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And I even told him, I was like, don't say nothing. Cause he do it amongst. I said, don't say nothing to her. And the one time he didn't say nothing, it like threw her. It did throw her because she's so used to him saying something. Just be quiet. And it was like, it made him like, so she's so used to him yapping. And he didn't say nothing. They thought, oh, what's wrong? Like, it threw her off. And I'm just like, and then you got to figure out, and I was like, listen, and you got to also, and my brother say he don't do it, and he'll listen to this, but he'll say he don't do it. Like I play basketball. I said him, you got to think about it, like me and her, two different athletes. I won't say she'll never be as good, but she probably won't be as good as me just because. And I didn't have former training, but I was outside all the time. I was out, I breathed basketball. And now these kids don't breathe and love it. Even when we were talking about basketball, it's like you could tell she's like, oh, I don't want to talk about basketball every day. Oh, we could be talking about basketball until you blew in the face because I loved it. And I think she thinks that like she says she loves basketball, and I say it's okay if you don't love basketball. Nobody's making you love basketball. Now I think my brother is
it's okay to like basketball.
She likes basketball.
Yeah, it's okay to like it.
And it's okay. And I think she thinks she can't say that she just likes basketball. But I was like, I know you just like basketball, and it's fine. Like it's fine. You ain't gotta worry about going to school. Your school is paid for. Like we not going to school for you don't have to go to school for basketball. So it's not a thing. Like it's okay to just want to be. I played with girls in high school that just play high school basketball. It's okay to just play high school basketball. You don't have to be a 4 or 5 star like athlete. You just play basketball. Like it's it. Like and just be okay with it. It's people that just you got even in business. It's people that are going to be like, oh, he spends way too much time in his business. If that's what he wants to do, he just got to be ready for those consequences. So if you want to be 1,000 in business, just know some other stuff might suffer, but you got to be okay with it. And that's all it comes with. Like basketball, I didn't have much of a social life because I just basketball. And if I did, it was because the people on my basketball team, and not necessarily. So it's just like, are you okay with those pros and cons? And that's in life and whatever else. Like if that's what you want to do, and you want to go 1,000 at it, just be whatever action you take, just be okay with those consequences.
Something else. Ask her what she identify as. Does she see herself as just a basketball player, or does she see something else? And then once she answers that question, that'll give y'all the insight like how to approach it. Because she only sees her self-identity is just basketball player. I'm a basketball player. Then you can figure out why it can't click because she may be putting too much pressure on herself, or she sees other things. Then it's okay. We're putting too much pressure on her. She may not, like you said, she may just like it, not love it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would look at the approach. If your brother's listening, I'll say maybe try to talk to her differently. Don't not talk to her because, like you said, she's gonna think something's wrong if you stay quiet.
Yeah.
Because she's used to hearing you.
Yeah.
She may not be listening, but she's hearing you.
Yeah.
But maybe listen or ask a question, listen to her reply, and then you talk to her the same way she replies to you. Not saying just tone, but the way she speaks. The wording she uses. Because a lot of kids nowadays, man, it's different.
It's different. I mean, even I asked her a question today at breakfast, and it's like, he didn't answer the question. I said, answer my question. You're avoiding the question. So then it's like a scapegoat. I don't know. Bro, no, answer my question. And now I want you to answer my question. Like, I'm scared to answer my question.
Two answers. Two answers to that question. The first answer is true. They don't want you to know. The second one is they don't know, but they don't want you to know they don't know. I don't want to sound dumb. I ain't got to answer this. I don't know. I ain't stupid. I just don't know. Like people forget that ignorance doesn't mean you're dumb. It means you lack knowledge in that area.
Yeah.
So more people are ignorant than they are stupid. But you become stupid when you don't want to accept the fact you're ignorant in this area.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. Like, I don't know if I would want to be a coach. Yeah.
Not in today's society.
Mental toughness. Listen, they refined the whole mental toughness that we grew up on. What kind of mental toughness?
It's not.
And I tell people, sure, we probably should have been talking to some folks. I'm sure we had some mental, but we just got through it. Like that was not.
There's some repressed trauma for a lot of people.
For sure.
Trauma.
Yeah. I've been through practices at Arkansas State with the men's basketball. John Brady was there. I walked. Oh, but he said, this man is cussing. He supposed to laugh. I walked through and I thought I was in trouble. I'm like, what is going
No.
on? I was like, because
Nah.
he ain't cussing at us like, but I'm just like, dude, with it. I was like,
But
oh,
that's something like, and then the guys on the team were conditioned to deal with it though.
yes.
So they couldn't reply, and if they did, they were seen as you're weak or you're you a bad apple.
Or
They
yeah, if
couldn't
you
even
saying something back, it's y'all you back talking. Bro, you crazy. Oh,
Nah, dude, call me everything my parents never called me. But you about to get these hands. And then I've seen like that at A-State and other schools as well in my travels,
yeah,
that there was some athletes like, bro, I'm about to beat you down because you're talking too crazy. And
right.
then they were saying that's a disruptive and disrespectful immature athlete. I'm like, what did the coach do? What did he say? What did she say? What did they do to trigger him? I saw the female basketball coach. Like, I'm not gonna drop a name. I literally saw that coach throw a ball at a girl's head one day when I was at practice.
Oofies.
Don't forget,
That
that was up on the indoor track. So
oh,
I don't. I've been around a long time.
I forget when we used to have practice downstairs. Y'all used to be upset. Y'all seen some of that stuff.
Well, and being a coach, I was still working out, so I would come in early and just go for a run or something, and listen to these coaches demoralize these young girls, these young boys. I'm like, I made a conscious decision early in my coaching career on the collegiate level because I used to yell at people, but then I had my first child. I was like, I never want anybody speaking to my daughter like.
Yeah,
So you can ask some of my old athletes, like a few of them. This, nah, he probably stopped doing it his second year.
yeah,
He changed because I had to grow up. I was like, man, nah, because if somebody did it to my kid, I'm on their head. And it's no reason to communicate like that. And also, this generation doesn't grow up like we did. Not saying it was right the way they did us. That doesn't mean we repeat it. It's
right,
just like somebody hits you, so you're gonna hit the next person. Oh, it's not hazing. I'm just gonna, we're gonna show you need to be tough. We're gonna bully the freshman because somebody bullied us. That don't mean it's right. It's a
right.
tradition that needs to be changed. And coaches, I do this. I do mental skills training with coaches, by the way.
No,
It's a different way. I do coaches, parents, and athletes.
oh,
It's a different communicate, a different way to get your point across. And you got to understand, not everybody's you. Like we said earlier, we have expectations we like to hold ourselves to.
mhm,
You got to hold them to where they are. Their expectations at who they are and where they are.
yeah, yeah, just not yeah. And I try to like he didn't grow up like us, like basket. And I also had to explain to him like basketball basketball was my means to get in the college education because we didn't have to afford it. But I said, Neil, you're in a position where he military, so she's going faithful. Once she goes from tech, she doesn't have to worry about school. So why? And I did say, so there's no reason to even put pressure or because I feel like sometimes he'll deny it. He's like, nah. I'm like, bro, I said, let her tell y'all that she wants to play basketball or like she wants to go to training.
Yeah.
But y'all are
Yeah.
spending money and you're going, and he's going to every training session. I'm like, y'all don't have, can y'all leave the gym? Don't be in the gym. Like I get people, it's a different world than we grew up, but my mom and them never was at practice. Like, never.
Have you ever heard of a helicopter parent?
Oh, they for sure. I called them that this weekend. I said, y'all are such a helicopter.
Yeah,
Oh,
those trainers and coaches, like, I've been using that term for a long. That's one of the reasons why I switched to college coaching from high school. I started off as a high school coach where the parents are right there. And they always saying, my baby should be my baby. College coaches, I'm dealing with young adults. If I see a parent, listen here, get your mom, get your dad. I ain't got to talk to them. You on this scholarship, that's your name, you're an adult. I'm not.
But they still try in college, though. They still try.
I shut them down, though. Yeah, they'll try, but I'm glad legally you don't have to talk to the parent.
Right.
You don't have to talk to the parent.
Yeah.
Like, unless they get consent from the athlete. So I was so thankful that was allowed, and it still is. I would, yeah, they need to let her know, let them know what she really wants to do.
Yeah. I think she's a little timid and don't want to say it. For sure.
So,
I'm probably gonna have, and once we aired it, I'm sure I'm gonna have to get a phone call from my brother. We'll be all right. He'll be all right. Okay. All right. So what is some advice you can offer a college student that's about to transition from college into the real world? What is the best advice that you may not have gotten yourself, but what is the best? You had more of an untraditional route, but would you give that kid? What kind of advice would you give?
My route was more traditional, but I've worked with so many athletes and like people transitioning in and out of my career. Like, it's been helpful that I had the non-traditional life. to be able to let them like, yo, try this, look at this, look at that. There's a couple things. First I'll say is be real about it. Understand you won't be a collegiate athlete forever. There's 4 to 6 years you get to compete for 4 years.
Yeah.
That's timeline coming in at 18. By the time you're 25, you're a full-fledged adult.
Yeah.
Be ready. So that's just being real about it. Even if you go pro, you won't be a professional athlete for long term. And I'll break it down in sports as I did in my master's. Is what? Football is a 3-year window for professional life.
Yeah, like 3 to 5 or something like that.
It's 3 to 5. In basketball, 5 to 7. If you do 8 years, you consider a long-term veteran, but you're not even 30. And then other sports too. But I would tell us be real about it. Understand this will come to an end. I still work out and train and can do stuff, and people would think I'm still a collegiate athlete, but I know I'm not.
Yeah.
So this is being real about it. I just like to be in this type of shape.
Right.
So the second thing is, and this may be unpopular opinion, and this is coming from a 2-time, about to be 3-time graduate. College isn't for everybody. I would say those first 1-2 years when you know as well as I do, you're doing gen eds mostly. So it's like you're repeating your last 2 years of high school,
Yeah.
to be totally honest. Unless
Yep.
you come out with a lot of concurrent courses that you took in high school, which is more so people who know they need college because they're going into the medical field or engineering or
Right.
something.
Yep.
Understand your first 2 years. I don't care if you're playing sports, talking to you athletes, college isn't for everybody. If you know you're probably not going to be a pro and you know you don't like school, take those 2 years and figure out what you want to do in life and try to go more towards that. Even if it's pursuing the education afterwards, look at that field that you want to get into and I'll use fitness as an example.
Mhm.
When I was I'm gonna use OT Orange Theory as an example because I was a director. You can have an exercise science degree, right? And you'll think being a personal trainer, boom, I got an exercise science degree, they're gonna hire me, right?
Mhm.
No, you had to have a certification.
Hmm.
Your degree was like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. We need a certification. That wasn't from me. It was the companies. And that's a global company that you can make good money at, to be honest with you. I had people working for me without a degree that were making more than some of the professors on campus,
Hey,
which is crazy.
that is
Ages 20 to 25,
wow.
they're working 35 hours a week, making more than people with PhDs and EDDs because it's corporate world.
Hmm.
So understand it's not for everybody. If you don't need one of those degrees like medical, engineering, something like that. And there's a lot of others. Like school is great. I'm a big component for school. I promote it for those that need it. Some of you need to get trades. Some of you need to get experience and skills and stuff. And you
Yeah.
cannot find that playing sports and going to class just to stay eligible. It's
Right.
not good for you. You're really
Yeah.
wasting your time
Mhm.
because you can go be playing community center leagues and be a baller. You can be hooping like out the wazoo and have your own company at the age of 23 playing.
That's for you to say that, just not to cut you off, but like, that's what I told him today at breakfast. I was like, it's fine. Go to college. I said, they got intramural. Yeah, they got intramural squad right now. They be traveling and go and do all the trusting.
It was like they could toast some people.
I said it. So I said I said I know it was a rule when we were back. We had to wait a year before we could start intramural. If it was the same sport you were going, if you became basketball, you could play intramural basketball. We had to wait a year. But I'm like, this is plenty of intramural that you could do if you didn't want to like play for real, playing like. But I'm just like, it's other options out there, and I feel like people are either they just don't know about those other options, or they feel like they have to take the traditional route of going to get a college degree.
I mean, I got a former teammate that was on the track team with me. She's playing like female football, traveling, like
Yep.
pads and everything, hitting people. You watch the deal like, oh man, that's but she has a job.
Yeah.
She makes money. She owns her own business too. She has a job. She works on her own business.
Yeah.
And she plays football. So, and she's approaching, I think she's 40 now,
Yeah.
or 38, 39, something like that. But she's still out there getting work to people. And it ain't for a college course, you know? So,
Right.
there's so much more to life. And the landscape of college sports is changing right before our eyes with all the new stuff coming up, the NIL,
Right.
paying players to play. It's not what it used to be. It's like a semi-pro league and a business. It's always been a business. I know
Yeah.
that part of it. But now it's more of a semi-pro league versus NCAA.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not. I just feel you should, unless you're. Of course, I want my doctor. I want my lawyer. Whatever. I want them to get their proper cool.
my police officers, like I want law enforcement engineers.
But if you trying to go just be a bit, say I got a business degree, even accounting, like if you're not gonna be a CPA, like you can go and get you don't have to go. I just got accounting, so I don't have at least I can use my degree if I needed to. But you don't necessarily, unless you want to become a CPA, like you can do account. You still somebody taxes, it don't have to be a CPA. So it's just like that part. And I tell people all the time, if you don't go with business, don't go with business. Because you save your money. Just that you can go get certified in something instead of wasting all your money if you just gonna be, I'm just gonna get a business degree.
And let me answer your question.
No.
Let me ask you a question. How long does it take to get certified?
It depends on what it is, but it take you what, a month maybe?
And how long does it take to get a business degree?
4 years.
Minimum 4 years.
Minimum 4 years. And so you can take the course online, take a test, pass the test, you certified. Now you just gotta go. Now you just gotta go get reps in, essentially experience.
Life.
Most of what's wrong.
I look at
2 years.
people, when people give me pushback, well, Jason, you worked at a college, I say, I still support college for certain individuals.
Yeah.
But somebody please tell me, what degrees does Oprah have? What degrees does Jeff Bezos have? What degrees does Elon Musk have? Does anybody ever ask that question? And wouldn't that three of the most influential, powerful, successful people we've heard of in this world? And I dare not say, Jeff, I got a doctorate. What you got? Man, he gonna look at me like, I'll buy your doctorate and take it away. You know what I'm saying?
And they got whatever they got when they
This he honorary degrees, but okay, it's another dance.
right. Well, yeah. It's not.
Look, I tell this person like transitioning. I think it should be a conversation here to those going from high school to college. I usually tell them beforehand. That's honestly what I think. But there's a lot of them that miss out on that talk. I would say, really be honest with yourself. Are you going to be one of those 3% of collegiate athletes that goes pro in your field?
Yeah.
If you think maybe, you're probably not, because you're already not cocky enough to believe you can. If you think I got a shot, then you might. Unless you just got somebody talking to you and trying to pay you right now, you probably should be looking at something else on top of that. Don't give up on your dream. Don't let me deter you from it. Look at another shot or something that can help you to get it.
That's good. And then last, to wrap it up, what are like some key takeaways that for people listening to this particular episode, that you would, maybe a little bit what you talked about, but what are some other key takeaways that you want people to hone into when they listen to this particular episode?
I would say, be honest with yourself about like just being real in life and knowing like, it's not for everybody to go to college, it's not for everybody to be a pro athlete. All their time is undefeated, so no matter how good you are, don't stack yourself up against your town, stack yourself up against the nation. Or stack yourself up against the professionals. Is that your goal to get there? Where are you compared to them right now? And can you get to that level? Another thing is, be open-minded. All entrepreneurs, be open-minded, and also check your emotional control at the door. Check in to see what your EQ is. That's your emotional ID, your emotional control. Are you low? Are you high? If you're being led by emotional, like your decisions are emotionally led, then you're probably low. If you can be logical no matter how connected or how passionate you are about something, you're probably high on the emotional level. If you don't know, contact me and I'll tell you.
Yes, yeah. So how can people get in contact with you if they listen to this episode? What's your social media, your website, whatever, so we can put it in the note on the episode.
My website is www.takeoneperformance.com. Number one. Email is my email address, takeoneperformance@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at jbrookstake1. You can find me on Facebook as Jason Brooks. I'm on Twitter. I don't tweet. I'm just being honest with you, but I'm on Twitter. So if you tweet at me, I'll read it, but I don't tweet.
Okay, do you take people from other states? So like you do Zoom consultation?
Most of my mental skill stuff is like virtual. We set it up. They reach. I do a lot of virtual with that because it'd be like we sitting down on virtual like this. There's a few people local that come in. I do a couple teams here and there, like group things. But I'll do a virtual call with them. Like I got a Zoom account for it, and then online training. I do a little bit of that through an app I got. Yeah, so dabbing in all that stuff. Heck, I've been doing it for years for everybody else. Why not myself? But yeah, you reach out through read me and contact me. We can set up anything pretty much.
Okay, that's been good. That's game. That's good. Thank you for coming on More Than 94.
Man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.